Hello guys, the purpose of this testimony is to let you know about my experiences of being a female playing basketball. I guess we can start off with me seeing my sister getting coached by my parents, and it really influenced my life. So when I grew old enough, I tried out for the basketball team in my elementary. Being the only girl trying out for an all-boy team at the age of 5, I did not make the team. After that, my aunt and my mom decided to take on a task of making me a basketball team so that I could play basketball. From then onward, I was playing basketball as a 5-year-old with nothing but boys. As a child, being around boys was the norm for me, and now seeing myself as equal to them was the correct thing to do. I was taught to get up every single time I was hit, knocked down, pushed, or shoved in a game or practice. I was constantly told by my mom that crying was for the weak. In many instances, these things are normal to hear as a boy growing up from his parents. At least that's how society has made it seem. I love the sport of basketball, although me loving something so much when we go through experiences that maybe I did not realize at the time that they would happen, and many times until this day still experience difficulties because of my ethnicity and sexuality. Basketball being a male sport, I have always had to work twice as hard to be accepted or even be recognized on my knowledge of the sport. A few years later, I decided to challenge myself to a national competition with the city recreational gym. Competition in Laredo is fairly easy. Placing first place locally, I was able to qualify to compete in San Antonio. When I got to the San Antonio gym to practice, I noticed all of the qualifiers were Caucasian and of African American descent. In basketball, stereotypically speaking, it is known for these races to overpower because of their height, strength, and speed. Despite the odds and through a tough day of competition, I came on top and won first place on the whole competition. It was a very huge accomplishment that allowed me to be recognized during a warm-up and halftime of a San Antonio Spurs game. The excitement of getting phone calls and friends and family congratulating me was one of the most meaningful ways of remembering this memory. However, this also made me break a lot of barriers, and maybe at the time I did not realize it. But being a female in a basketball competition plus being Hispanic were huge factors of the barriers I was able to overcome and defend a position as the only female Hispanic in the competition. In 4th grade, I told my parents I would not continue to do basketball unless I was able to play with an all-girl team. I may have been selfish and in a way spoiled, but they scouted and recruited enough girls to start a basketball team where I could feel comfortable. During middle school, basketball became a norm for girls to play, and it became a little more known and accepted. During this time, it was when I started to travel out of town to start playing with San Antonio teams and travel to different places in the state for basketball tournaments. Maybe I didn't have a lot of difficulties with being Hispanic in the sport, for the reason being that I was accepted in a lot of these out-of-town teams, with most of the time being the only Hispanic in the team. However, my gender, being a female, has really made me go through a lot more barriers than my ethnicity or race. When I started college, my gender became a bigger barrier for me. I started university in a different town, so most of my days consisted of going to the rec and spending time out of my apartment. Many days I would watch how these males would play 5 versus 5 and how I just really wanted to be in that court playing. At first I watched these games go by with just holding the basketball in my hands, passing time. On many occasions these boys would ask for the ball to shoot because they believed I was there watching someone, or perhaps even thought I was scouting a potential boyfriend. Eventually I made a friend, let's call him Peter to disclose his name. Peter saw the potential in me. He pushed me to get up and shoot and play every time. Peter started to really get me into these games, so it was my chance to prove these individuals of what I was capable of and finally be on the court once again. The fact that I was a girl, I had to work for my spot in the court and prove to myself the most that I could and that I was good enough to play on the court, and as well as getting my name out there to perhaps be chosen the following game. This really was a struggle for me, but it truly is the way society and life really works for females. In fact, on many occasions, many of these guys became my friends, and without me asking, they would open up and comment, "Wow, you actually know how to shoot and play," or "Wow, you really looked too girly to know how to play basketball." This really irritated me, but I never did allow it to get the best of me. It may not be a big deal for many, and especially not to men, but I continue to prove and work hard to break these barriers for maybe other females who may be going through the same thing. Now keep in mind, all this hard work I went through to get called into the court rather than other boys at the rec. Those who know me may know that I became very confident and in a way cocky when I am in the court, But as long as I speak and prove my enjoyment in the court, I will be that girl with her makeup done, shooting a basketball from any distance from the three-point line. Until this day, I go and have fun and enjoy doing what I love the most. And until this day, many boys continue to challenge me, and being as confident as I am, I always accept the challenge. I believe that this passion that I have for the sport and my strong beliefs have never allowed any male figure in my life to tell me how I should be living my life.